Hello and welcome to the Lewiston Second Word Podcast. My name is Debbie Presnell and I'm here with the truly amazing Ketch Johnson, who's recording today's podcast. The goal of this podcast is to get to know each other better and to create unity in our ward by sharing life and gospel experiences with each other. We have some really great people in our ward, and this week we welcome into our podcast Holly and Dave Urban. Welcome, Urbans.
Thank you.
Usually we do this at the church in a little cold classroom, and today we've been invited into the Urbans' home, and we really are grateful that we can come here today. So thank you for having us in your home.
You're welcome.
So we're just going to dive right in. We're going to start out with your growing up years. Where did you grow up? What was it like? What's your family's like that you grew up with?
I grew up in Colorado, Colorado Springs, born in Denver, raised in Colorado Springs. I was the youngest of 6 children, and my dad was a pilot. And so, yeah.
Airline pilot, huh?
He was an airline pilot for a while, and then he worked for Colorado Interstate Gas, and, they were kind of responsible for the gas pipeline coming down from Alaska, and so he would fly executives around to places. So
was your family able to fly where you wanted to go?
No, we never got to.
Not that good
He got to take us once or twice, just for fun on a plane, but yeah, that was it. So
Colorado, Denver. How about you, Dave?
I was born in Salt Lake City, and right after we moved to Grand Junction, Colorado, I guess my parents lived in Denver and Pueblo for a while, but as far as my memory goes, it was Grand Junction.
So how did you guys meet?
we were both young adult representatives in separate stakes in Colorado Springs.
Oh.
Dave was serving in the Air Force, and I had just come back from, I had served a mission, but had been over in Utah working for a little while and felt like I needed to come home. So.
And that's how you met?
That's how we met.
Yeah.
Where? Where? Oh.
To Peru.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Peru, Lima North mission.
So you speak fluent
Well, I speak Spanish. I wanted to say that it's fluent at this point, but I can understand, and it's kind of fun. Yeah.
That's
a redheaded white sister knowing Spanish.
Speaking Spanish is not normal.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So your families that you grew up in, Dave, was it a large family or?
6 kids, and I was in the middle. Shared the middle with the brother, and most of my family is in Utah. In fact, I guess all of them are. Yep.
So you probably see them
every once in a while, about once a year probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
So high school, was that in Colorado also for you? And you, Dave, were you in Utah then?
Let's see, high school was Provo High. We moved to Provo right before high school.
That's like almost BYU, right?
Yeah, they called it the Turkey Farm.
Oh, the high school's called the Turkey Farm? How come?
I don't know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you guys met, dated for how long? What happened from there?
We met in February, and then we were married in October.
Yeah.
So then we stayed in Colorado Springs for a little while until, because Dave was serving in the Air Force. And then he got out of the Air Force, and we moved to Phoenix for a little while. So.
Air Force, Dave, how many years in Air Force?
Enlisted 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And what did you do in the Air Force?
Computer. It wasn't computer programming. It was managing the big mainframe computers.
You better not let that out of the bag.
I know.
Somebody be calling you for something.
Long time ago. So it was mainframe, IBM, tapes, and
long time ago.
green bar printers, and yeah. So
tell me about your family. How many children? Where are they? Grandchildren?
Well, we have three daughters and one son. One son that lives over in Clarkston, so he's in our stake. Our three daughters are Tooele, Logan, and also Idaho Falls. They're all married, all have kids.
That's great.
So, yeah.
And like we were talking about before, that's the best thing, right? Grandbabies.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what life's all about for me.
They are. They're precious.
So, as looking back on your families growing up, and even now since you've been married, what family relationships do you think have had like the biggest impact on your life? Has there been somebody that stands out that your relationship, or maybe something you learned from that relationship, that's been impactful?
Go ahead. Well, I got great parents. They're both still living in Utah. My dad just turned 90.
Wow.
They both are very smart. They both got PhDs. So my dad always has been a great home teacher and minister. So he taught me how to do that, and he treats ministering families like family. So
That's so awesome.
yeah. So
Education was probably important in your growing up family.
Yep. Yeah.
So what about your education? What did you go into college? Where at?
Well, I went to DeVry Institute of Technology down in Phoenix and got a computer degree, and then I actually finished my master's online through WGU, Western Governors University, in data analytics. So,
Wow.
yeah.
What does that mean?
It's statistically based, and it's looking at trends in big data, they call it, millions and trillions of rows of data for large corporations, and analyzing future trends and trying to figure out what they can gain from the knowledge from data mining is a term they use. You mine the data for things that are important to that company.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds fascinating and difficult all at the same time.
Both. And actually, to be honest, I'm not actually working in that career per se. I'm in a pharmaceutical laboratory environment doing some support role. So it is technical, but it's not data analysis. So.
Yeah. How about you, Holly? Have you had some relationships that stood out?
I would say my uncles and aunts. We had a close family relationship, visiting, and my grandparents were instrumental. Well, my grandmothers, both of my grandfathers, died when my parents were young, and so never knew my grandparents, or my grandfathers. So, yeah, I would say, I was close to my parents too. Being the youngest of six, you get some privileges.
You're the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're 6 years difference between me and the next one. So
also, you had a lot of older.
I had a lot of alone time with my parents, which was nice.
Mm-hmm. And lots of siblings that were mom and dad.
Yeah.
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 I love that. I love that kind of relationships. Yeah. Families. So, Dave, you talked a little bit about your career right now. Mm-hmm. What are you doing right now? Who are you working with? And
it's a company in Moscow, Alturas Analytics Incorporated. They have about 70 employees, growing. They just built a new building. They do chemical analysis of a compound or a subject, blood, urine samples for pharmaceutical companies.
So you drive back and forth to Moscow every day?
Actually, I did for a few years, but now I'm working 3 days from home.
Oh, that's perfect.
So, yeah. So 2 days a week.
2 days up there,
yeah.
Sliding in January back and forth.
It's not too bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I went up to Moscow a couple times in January and I thought it was terrible.
It does depend on the roads and weather.
I literally slid part of the way to Moscow.
Oh no, yeah.
That was interesting. How about you, Holly? Have you like homemaking? Is that your career?
No, I went to nursing school. I've been a nurse for over 40 years.
I would have guessed that about you,
Yeah.
Holly. You have got that aura about you, taking care of people.
Yeah, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a nurse, and so went to school at BYU, got my associate degree, then went to BYU Idaho, got my bachelor's degree, and then Regis University, I got my master's degree. So the last 5 years that we've been here, I've been the chief nursing officer at St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. So
I didn't know you were. So you're currently working.
Working full time.
That is so interesting to me, Holly, because as I was thinking about you today, I know you guys, but I don't know a lot about you, so I was really excited to have this opportunity tonight. And I was thinking about you. I was thinking, Holly reminds me of someone who's a nurse. And so when you said that, I thought
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're currently doing that. So you've done that through out raising your children and through there?
When our kids were young, Dave would work during the day or go to school, and I would work in the evenings. And so we tried to avoid a lot of daycare. And, we had some in-home people that were really good to our children. And anyway, I've worked pretty much my entire life. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with mothers who do at-home work. That's their career, because I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And it's really hard, but when you combine the two, that's just takes it up to the next level.
It's fun though. I enjoy what I do.
And I've got a sister-in-law that's a nurse, and I've been so impressed with how she's been able to bring that education into her family.
Mm-hmm.
Such a help. Like, we call her for everything.
Yeah.
I bet you get the same thing, don't you?
Yeah.
People call her.
They do. Everybody.
Free
Neighbors.
medical advice.
Let's go ask Holly. Yeah.
Let's go ask Holly. That's so awesome. So when you look at the paths that you've taken professionally, did something what prompted you in that direction? Were you like just attracted to that kind of thing from the beginning, or did it take you a while to
Ever
get there?
since I was a little girl. And then I got my associate's degree and decided to go on a mission. So at the time it was a welfare services mission. So we got to teach people, how to take care of themselves, hygiene, accompany the missionaries to doctor's appointments. We also, with welfare services, we got to teach, talk to stake presidents and bishops about things, the welfare services program. Anyway, it was great.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Was that an 18-month mission?
It was 18
I
months.
think that's so cool. I bet there was a really need for that in Peru too.
There really
Lots
was.
of opportunity.
Yeah.
How about you, Dave? How did you get to this? What is it? Computer data analysis, complications, something sounds over my head.
I've just always enjoyed numbers and computers. When the computers first came out, I just thought that would be a great career to get into. So
It's always interesting to me how people get from point A to where they're at. Sometimes it's a straight path, and sometimes it's kind of in and out. So when you think about the gospel, and like, has that always been a part of your lives, or has that developed over, you filled a mission, so obviously there was some strong faith there. So is that just always been a part of your life, or is that, what's your faith story?
It was for me. I mean, going to seminary and getting your young womanhood medallion and all of that stuff. I had some really good young women leaders growing up. They were good friends, and anyway, I just always remember that being part of our family life. So
I grew up in the gospel, and I
served a mission.
I served a mission to the Netherlands, so
Cool.
I spoke Dutch for 2 years.
Can you still?
Just a few
He
phrases.
can't. He also learned German,
in high school.
so he can understand German too.
Your Duolingo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the problem was that Dutch and German are so close
Oh,
that
are they pretty from?
they're known as sister languages, and so anymore I feel very self-conscious because I'm not sure if I'm speaking Dutch or German. So
But if we're watching a show and they're speaking German or
Pretty
Dutch,
clear
he'll go,
German.
I'll say, what did they say? And he'll know exactly
He knows what they say.
yes, he does. Doesn't give
As long
himself
as you know
credit.
when you're speaking English, Dave, we're okay.
Yeah.
right?
yeah. So
That's awesome. And that was a 2-year. Was that 2
2
years?
years.
My brother filled a mission in the French East Mission, and it was a 2.5-year
oh wow.
mission. So
They actually changed the mission to 1.5 years right in the middle, but I chose to stay. But
for the 2 years.
yeah, so,
That's just way cool. So I'm sure you guys have got a lot of stories about that, which takes us to my next question. What role has missionary service played in your life? Or what role do you hope it plays in your future? Like, do you guys see yourself going on missions?
We've talked about going on a senior mission.
Boy,
but-
after Elder Rasbands.
Yeah,
Those Elder
that
was great.
talk at conference. Greg and I are like, whoa, I guess we need to rethink where we're at. Yeah.
yeah, we'd love to go on a mission.
Yeah. It's been an important part of both of our lives, I think. So
Yeah.
we've had 2 children that have served missions, so it's important.
It really does impact your life, doesn't it? In a positive way, for sure. So when you think about your development of your testimony, what do you think has nurtured that the most? What's helped you to get to where you're at now? Because I know, Holly, from listening to your Release lessons, you've got a strong testimony. And I can feel that from you, Dave. So what got you here?
I think temple attendance, that's been something that we've tried to do regularly. We were promised once in a stake that if we would increase our temple attendance, we would see, be able to withstand the adversary, and we've seen that happen. And so I think that's been a big piece of it. Paying our tithing is a big piece of, we are always telling our kids, pay your tithing because you'll be blessed, and we've been blessed, absolutely been blessed. So anything else you'd add?
No, you covered it very well. I was told on my mission to always read the Book of Mormon, and I took that to heart. So, and I prayed about it and got a testimony. So I know that it's true.
I think when I hear people talk about those kinds of things and how it's just the basic things that they've done that have helped strengthen their testimony and gotten you to where that's the key, I think.
Yeah.
I think that as we do those basic things that lead us to where you guys obviously are, that every time we make that choice, we strengthen our relationship with Heavenly Father. And so it just becomes more and more a part of who we are and what we do. So I love having people in our word that have that kind of testimony. So what do you have specific life experiences that you've had that you feel like have brought you guys together in the gospel and kind of made you put trust or helped you to trust Heavenly Father and place your trust there? That's a hard one for me, to put total trust in something besides Debbie is hard for me. So have you had experiences where you've that have led you to do that?
Well, I think, as you lose a job or you leave a job, and you feel like you're doing the right things, that the Lord will lead you to where you're needed. And I think in several of the places that we lived, we're there for a reason. So I would say that's a big piece of our life experience, knowing that we're there for a reason, and when it's time to leave, you leave, and the Lord will help you find where you need to go next.
If you can just trust.
Yeah.
Place that trust there.
Yep. It's not always easy, like you said.
It's not easy.
No.
It hasn't been easy for me. I'm kind of a control freak, so to let somebody
Me
else
too.
have any kind of control is
It's always nice. Yeah.
it's not natural for me. But every time I do, I know that makes it easier. How about you, Dave?
I'm kind of the same way. Faith, believe it or not, is hard for me, and I have a strong testimony, but having faith, exercising faith, it's hard sometimes.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a challenge. It's a challenge that pays off, has high dividends if you can do that. But I agree. So what brought you guys to Lewiston?
My job.
Your job?
Yeah.
You got transferred here. And you guys have been here how long?
It'll be 5 years in April, 1st of April.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how come I don't know the Urbans better than I do? That says something about the Presnells, maybe.
No, it's
We can
okay.
change.
COVID happened.
COVID
Yeah, that was a big
happened.
piece of it.
It's so true, isn't it? It
Yeah.
that COVID is a whole. I could go on for a long time. When somebody interviews me, I'll tell you all about how I feel about COVID and how nice it was to be home every Sunday and listen to it at home and have sacrament at home. It was kind of hard to go back when it was time to go back. But yes, that did change the world, I believe. Well, I'm really glad you came to Lewiston. So, what do you love most about Lewiston Second Ward? There's so many things.
It's a great ward.
It is a great
Just
ward.
people are friendly.
Great bishops.
Yeah, we've felt welcome from when we first came. So
You guys have made that easy. Everybody that I talked to about Urbans love the Urbans.
that's
so
sweet.
You
That's
guys
nice
have
of
made
you.
that easy for people to our ward to welcome you in. So, final question, unless you got some other thoughts, we can certainly talk about it. But this is an interesting. We ask everybody this, and I've given this question a lot of thought because I've asked it several times now. If you could send one message 100 years into the future for your posterity to hear, what would it be?
Personally, I would recommend that they read the Book of Mormon and pray about it and gain a strong testimony and pay tithing. I think those two things, having a firm testimony and exercising faith for paying tithing. There was a time when I thought tithing was just kind of for the church to get rich, but then I had a 180 experience, and I totally believe the opposite now. It has nothing to do with money.
Would you
It's
share
faith.
that experience? Dave, are you comfortable sharing that experience? Or?
Well, it hasn't been one exact deal, but there was a time when we weren't paying tithing, and
All been there.
we decided to start paying,
Exercise faith.
exercise faith, and it was remarkable.
Sometimes you
so
look back and you're
Yeah.
like, how did we make it through that paycheck? You know, and you can't figure it out. There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah,
So
there's the spiritual and financial blessings. I think there are financial blessings, but
the other
it's
thing I would add
spiritual.
is temple attendance.
yeah,
Make a priority to attend the temple frequently.
definitely, yes.
So
Yeah, I know that tithing for us, we've had struggled when we were early, young married. Derek
Right.
was going to school, and we just didn't have money. I mean, we just couldn't see how it was going to possibly happen.
Right.
But when we decided that's the route we were going and made that commitment, it totally changes everything. Somehow it all works out.
Yes.
Well, we're so excited to have you here in the ward, and
Thank you.
Presnells are going to make an effort to get to know the Urbans better. I've
Okay.
already sent out the clues, the message, the feelers around, so we'll definitely do that. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the ward? Or
I don't have anything else.
No.
But thanks for coming.
thank you. It's been great. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank
much.
you.